let me check it real quick. We're live on YouTube. And, make sure you check out Alan's podcast. He's now at Old Homestead Distilling, but he's still doing his One Piece at a Time Distilling Institute. Fantastic on YouTube. If you have any questions about home distilling or distilling at all, he'll answer them. And then if you have ghosts, if you have everything, great podcast. Me and Roxy have been on it. It's about spirits and spirits. It's spirits in the spirit industry, It's something worth checking out. He covers it all, and he has lots of guests on with lots of great stories. So I'm checking that. That's working. I'm going to set that there now. Get this out of here at the moment. Put my keyboard out of the way. All right, we're almost getting ready to start. Let me just check YouTube. That's what this is supposed to do. I'm going to do that real quick to make sure everything on YouTube is working tonight. Hold on, everybody. Click on that. Make sure my microphone's working. Hey, Tater Dom. Yeah, it's all working. All right. Welcome, everybody. This is going to be a great podcast. If you want to know about this current batch of bookers, we're going to cover it. All right, there we go. That's the YouTube introductory. That always helps. We've got a couple people. Tater Dom's on. Good to see you as always. Video and audio are good to go. So let's hope that now that we get this going, there'll be a 30-second. I'll make sure there's a 30-second delay, and for the Whiskey Thief ad that is about to go, and then you'll hear the Scotchy Bourbon Boys theme song, and we'll get rocking and rolling tonight. I'm so excited. It's going to be a good podcast tonight. Jimmy's batch, but hope to, yeah. Okay, Walker, what'd you get? Sitting on the scotch, we get a little wild, but it's sure fun to watch. We love what we do, we're drinking every room, man, it's awesome, but we're telling the truth. Yeah, we're the Scotchy Bourbon Boys, raising my hand and making some noise. Yeah, we're the Scotchy Bourbon Boys, we're here to have fun and we're both enjoy. We're here to have fun. Woo! Yeah! We are here to have fun. All right. Welcome to another podcast of the Scotchy Bourbon Boys. That was Kenny Fuller, who did our theme song. Once again, we have gotten better, but we're still not as good as our theme song should be. Thank you, Kenny, for doing that. Every time I hear that, it just makes me happy. I've had so many responses to the Scotchy Bourbon Boys theme song. We got a bunch of people on tonight. It's just me tonight doing this Jimmy's batch, but I am fresh back from Lambeau Field. You can see greatest hoodie ever I think I ever bought. Damn good hoodie. I figure, this time I was looking actually for a jersey, a couple of jerseys, but being tiny and a big man, I need to have, honestly, I need a 3XL long, like 3XL. It's just what it does. This is 3XL. They got a big and tall section, but they had all the jerseys out, and in this giant freaking, the biggest, I mean, Lambeau Field does the actual gift shop like no other. I mean, Buffalo Trace has a great gift shop when it comes to bourbon, but Lambeau Field and their double-story gift shop, which is like massive amounts of square footage, massive amounts of merchandise, is just packed on game day. And I was able to do that, but they didn't in that whole thing, that whole giant freaking place, they didn't have 3XLs. So I'm going to be ordering, I believe it's still down Christian Watson and Josh and come on, Jacobs. I come on, it's Josh Jacobs. Anyways, JJ, and I am going to be ordering probably Jacobs because of that game he had. And Watson did all right, but he had that drop that was a complete touchdown. So I think I'm going to go with my guy. But it was a fantastic, what would you say? It was a game for the ages for Packer fans. It's the game that you want to go to. I picked this game out because of last year's divisional playoff where we barely lost in San Francisco in a muddy, rainy time, and it really came down to McCaffrey taking us out at the end. But this time we destroyed them. Yes, they were down a few players. They were down Purdy. I mean, but that's Mr. Irrelevant anyways, but it was just a fantastic game. But with that said, tonight, don't want to get into, I know there's Lion and Viking fans. You guys are all having a fantastic year. Packers are having a fantastic year, and I can't wait to see how it plays out. So this should be fantastic football. That football and bourbon go together. And one of the reasons why I'm bringing it up is that when we were parking, they parked the homes right in the neighborhood of Lambeau Field, which you can see the stadium from their backyards. 2 blocks away is where we parked. And we basically picked the right place to park. I was there with El Presidente. Shout out to Randy. What a fantastic time with him and his significant other, Kate, Double O Kate, me, Roxy, Double O Kate, and El Presidente had the most fantastic time. And it started out in the morning. We met up on Saturday. We stayed in Kiwani at an Airbnb, fantastic, had a good time. We drank some amazing pours, had amazing food there. And then the day of the game, just everything was just like perfect, just another win. So yeah, Drew is saying the vintage. Yeah, this hoodie was freaking. I saw this and I picked it up and I thought it was going to be over $100. It wasn't. So I was just like straight in right off the bat. And then I started looking for the jerseys and was disappointed. So I'm going to have to get my jersey online, but that's going to allow me to get one of those really cool special, either it's going to be salute to the services or whatnot. So that's going to be great. So with that said, www.scotchybourbonboys.com for all things Scotchy Bourbon Boys. Make sure you check it out. And Bourbon Balls will be coming soon. We will be making them maybe as early as this weekend, maybe not, because my son and daughter-in-law and my grandson are coming to stay with us. They're on their way right now. So I'm looking forward to that tonight. They're going to get here about 12:30, and I will make sure they get all their, all the places to stay and help them get unloaded and everything. And then they're here for Thanksgiving. So it just depends on whatnot. But let's go. So the bourbon balls will be there coming up, though. They're coming up. I'll let you all know when they do. I've had multiple requests for them, and I haven't even decided. But the bourbon that's going to go into these bourbon balls has been soaking the pecans for 10 months. So this should be fantastic. It'll be there. So I'm just going to go over the schedule real quick. Next Tuesday, we have a special guest. Our special guest is one of the main podcasters, and Alan Bishop has been dueling with Greg Schneider, but we are going to be reviewing the Mizunaro finished bourbon, their newest release and their special release program, and a couple others that we're going to go through. But Greg is going to be on 8:30 next Tuesday, and that should be fantastic. Then December 12th, Thursday, December 12th, we will be going live at around 3:30ish would be my guess, from Four Roses with Brent Elliott live in studio. Now, I don't know what's happening after that. There's a chance that we could be doing our first Old Homestead podcast. I'm trying to set that up. We'll try and do that on the Friday after that. And then I know I'm going to Makers on Saturday and coming home on Sunday. So the Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, December 12th, 13th, 14th, and 15th. Now, then our Scotchy Bourbon Boys Christmas party is coming up. That is, I believe, Friday, December. I want to say if Thursday's the 13th, that means the 20th, and then the 27th would be, well, Thursday was the 12th, then the 26th. So it should be, our Christmas party is the 27th, Friday, December 27th. Yes, the 25th is a Wednesday, the 26th is a Thursday. We will be doing on Thursday our Booker's blind, because Super Nash is coming in on Thursday. Thursday night, we will be doing the blind tasting of all four Bookers and picking our Bookers of the year. We'll get CT to come in, hopefully via, and maybe get the samples up to Whiskey and do our Bookers of the year. Then Friday, we're going to record our Bourbon of the Year and our holiday podcast. So we've got a lot of stuff, but that Friday night is the Scotchy Bourbon Boys Christmas party. And there are people coming from all over, folks, all over. We've got Shannon Hood. We've got Shannon, Sarah, and Stacy Pritchard, Sarah Evans, and Shannon Hood coming up from Bardstown. We're trying to get everybody up here. I've invited a lot of people, and there's a lot of people, but we got Walker coming. Hopefully we got Jamie coming. It's like you're all invited. It's going to be at Gervasi's Vineyards and what is it? It's Gervasi Vineyards, and it's at the Still House at Gervasi. But they have fantastic villas. They have rooms for rent. Great place to come stay. That's decorated fantastic. It's high, but it's worth it. I mean, if you come in on a Friday, stay Friday night, you won't just be disappointed. It's a little expensive, but the grounds are amazing. The restaurants are amazing. The vineyard's amazing. The distillery is amazing. And we're going to be having special pours and special giveaways at the Scotchy Bourbon Boys. This year, it's going to be fantastic cigar smoking. I'm trying to get, I've invited a lot of people, but once December hits, I'll just get them to commit. So this should be a freaking awesome, seriously, an awesome Christmas party. And then we're headed down to Kentucky again that Saturday, and we'll be doing something there too. So, but then that brings us to March 7th. We will be also doing our Master Distiller's batch remains supreme for now. Hopefully Jimmy's batch hits the same. We'll see. Yes. But what we're going to do is we will be down March 7th with Rob Samuels at Maker's Mark. So that's the next one. And I'm trying to put together, folks, I'm hoping to get Michters in there, Dan McKee and Andrea Wilson, and then Joe Magliano, I believe it is. Walker, you can help me on that one. That one I always get. Nash does a great job with it, but I'm horrible with it. But hopefully we get them on. So there you go. We got the coming attractions for the Scotchy Bourbon Boys. All right. Remember, we're on all the social media platforms: Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and X. Right now, we're on YouTube and at, Facebook Live. We've been doing more on X, and this is going to be a lot of fun. So hopefully, what happens. Also, remember to we're on all the major podcast formats, not just social media, but podcasts: Apple, iHeart, Spotify. But remember, wherever you listen to us, I mean, on whatever platform you find us, remember, like, listen, comment, leave good feedback, like, listen, subscribe, and comment, and then leave good feedback. And we appreciate everything you've been doing. We're doing with our podcasts up to about, through all social media and across all the platforms, about 19 to 20,000 people a week are listening on good weeks and whatever. And it's funny, the more I stay committed, the better it gets. Like tonight, I can tell already we're doing all right on YouTube. We've got some people coming on, uh, you know, and thank you, thank you, Walker, for taking care of that on YouTube for me. But so it's been a pretty spectacular month of November, and this is just, we're getting to the end. And we got one more podcast on Thursday. I haven't decided what that'll be, but it'll be something. But this Booker's here is Jimmy's batch. Now, the people on social media are on Facebook. I am about to share, and everybody else on YouTube and everything, you'll see. But I'm going to share the screen and then go forward. Now, I got to remember a couple times, hey, Greg, good to see you. I have to get better at share screening, so that's why I'm going to do it anyways. Here we go. Which one is the book? Where is it? I believe that's it. Nope, that's it. There we go. Here we go. Sharing screen for everybody on Facebook. But this is Jimmy's batch 2404. And this is a unique batch. Now, okay, so Thursday is our Wild Turkey Day podcast. It will happen at 10:30 a.m. Super Nash is going to join us for a little bit because that's the day he deep fries his turkeys. So he will be giving you some of what he does as far as deep frying turkeys, but I will be breaking this baby open. I will be breaking open the Wild Turkey Jimmy 70 Russell, and I will be combining it also with the Bookers. Now, nobody saw that. Well, YouTube saw that, but on Facebook, you're just seeing the 2404 Jimmy's Batch Bourbon. But I'm just telling you, this shows, this bottle here that you're looking at on there, and I'm showing you all to on YouTube, that this bottle here is a special bottle, and it really shows the connectivity, the glue of the bourbon industry, and why bourbon has succeeded going forward with Elmer T. Lee, Booker, Jimmy, and what they did for this industry. Because before this, the industry faltered, and clear spirits, tequilas, vodka, gin, all kind of kicked its butt. But by bringing it back through creative thinking, but then the support the industry showed, like in the Heaven Hill fire, that they knew they were producing something in an area that the United States is an area, but in Kentucky, that not anybody else could do. And they basically decided, what I wish our country would do is that we're all in this together and we're going to help each other out so that the industry as a whole succeeds. We don't want to see anybody falter. The competition for that shelf space was, we'll put it all on the shelf space, then we'll create these specialty bourbons, and we'll just see what happens. But if you're having a problem, you need something, let me help you out. So Jimmy's batch right here is the fourth and final batch of Booker's bourbon for 2024. It is a tribute to a cherished friend of the No family, Jimmy Russell. I mean, Jimmy Russell is Wild Turkey. Eddie and Bruce, and you got Freddie and Fred, but a close friend to my dad, which would be Booker, and a second father figure to me since my dad's passing in 2004. So Jimmy kind of was to Fred what he had Booker, and Booker taught him a lot, but then Jimmy steps in and helps Fred become what he became. So it's really kind of a special batch. And so this is 2024-04. It is 125.8 proof, 7 years, 9 months, and 19 days. It's signed by Booker No. It's called Jimmy's Batch. And I mean, what company does a batch of bourbon that is dedicated to a man who, in another brand and another company, just celebrated his 70th year anniversary of being with Wild Turkey and just produced an 8-year anniversary release of Wild Turkey. So, I mean, who does that? Only the people in the bourbon industry. It's unlike anything else. The fourth release of Booker's Bourbon 2024 collection is Booker's Batch 2404, Jimmy's Batch. This batch is named in honor of a master distiller, Jimmy Russell, living legend for bourbon lovers everywhere, and one of my dad's best friends, competitors, and most importantly, friends. Jimmy was like a second father to me after Dad passed away, and I've learned a hell of a lot from him over the years. There are many life lessons to thank him for, but here are a few that stand out to me. Once at a bourbon festival, Jimmy came up to Dad and me and poured out 3 glasses of a whiskey he wanted us to taste. It was some real nice stuff. And when Dad asked what it was, Jimmy said it was something new he was working on, something special. I thought it was pretty cool to bring a new product to a competitor and ask what they think. It showed me the importance of trust and the camaraderie and just how much these old timers respected each other. The other big thing Jimmy taught me was to treat everybody like I wanted to be treated. When we went to events at bars or liquor stores, he always stayed late to make sure everyone got their picture taken and their bottle signed. It's easy to take for granted that we get to do what we do because of the people that stand in line for our whiskey. But Jimmy never did. Just like Dad, there are a few things Jimmy loves more than a damn good bottle of bourbon. So cheers to him and the mentorship he's given me through thick and thin all these years. I hope you get to share a glass with company as good and true as Jimmy. So Greg Schneider said, I have many stories about Booker, Booker, Jimmy, Elmer, and other icons. Jimmy is the last of the true Kentucky bourbon master distillers. And Drew, now that I could get down with that. And it's funny. Honestly, it makes me, I've talked to Greg and he's told me so many stories about Booker, but I really think Jimmy helped Fred become and take on Booker's, his actual brand and really take it to the level that Booker would be proud of him I mean, it says, don't F up my Bookers, that's what he said to him. But I don't think Fred has. I think Fred's done a fantastic job. And then him and Sandy raising Freddie, and Freddie's been doing such a good job. I mean, the Booker's Reserves doing, the older Bookers that have gone and doing a blend of that, which is amazing. And then it's barrel strength, and you're talking about the Little Book Infinite. What's happening in the bourbon industry is just fantastic. It's just really, really something special, in my opinion. And this Booker's with Jimmy's batch coming up on Thanksgiving, I have to say, Greg, thank you for what you did for me with Jimmy Russell last year. After our Christmas party, you had texted Jimmy and said that I was going to be down there with Super Nash, and we went. We hadn't heard anything, but when we got there, I said I was going to be there between 12 and 1. We got there at 12:30, and I wasn't, really hadn't heard much, but there Jimmy and Rosetta were, and they signed everything. I got to meet him. Jimmy is a special person, and like you said, he's a national treasure. He's what's left of them, and he's done such a spectacular. I mean, the man loves living. He's at he's going to be at the Wild Turkey tasting room and their new, gift shop until he's gone. I mean, the man is amazing. So Fred used to be Freddie until Freddie came along, was spot on. He loves Jimmy like a second father. I think a lot of people that know Jimmy, you could say that too. The man was a sharing, caring kind of guy. I mean, I think Booker was more of a hard ass, so it was harder to. He was, a realist, and there was aspects, but I think it would be harder to connect. You read Fred's book about with Booker and all this stuff, and I think Fred did connect, but Booker was a lot. What would you say? He cared about Fred, but it was hard to as Fred went along. I think Jimmy kind of fit in a more approachable way on when it comes to what Fred has been able to do in the industry than Booker was. I don't know if Booker was approachable enough. I think from the time he was there, and it's like that anyways. A lot of times the dads are very hard on their sons because they want so much, and then somebody else can really step in and see things in a little bit different perspective. And I think that's what Jimmy was able to do. And Fred dedicating this batch, I don't know how you get this through. I mean, it shows how much, honestly, I really think this shows how much Fred and Freddie, their family, the Knows, still have a control over the bourbon, because honestly, there's not too many companies that could put out a batch named after the master distiller of another distillery. But the closeness of this, I mean, it just shows you once again, all the things that they're willing to do for each other. So with that said, let's keep going. I'm going to get to this soon. All right. All right. He's master distiller notes. The fourth and final batch of Booker's Bourbon for 2024 is a tribute to the cherished friend of the No family, Jimmy Russell, a close friend. Okay, my dad and second father. Okay, the batch boasts a rich amber color shaped by the charred white oak barrels. It aged in until the barrels were dumped. Let's try that again. Let's try it again. This batch boasts a rich amber color. Let's just make sure I'm still talking. Yes, I am. By the charred white oak barrels it's aged in until the barrels were dumped. I first tasted this batch at my kitchen table. I've got to sit around that kitchen table with Fred and Sandy. It's amazing. And its aroma filled the whole room. The first sip is a sweet and smooth, and the way the vanilla notes mixes with the brown spice notes is just right, inviting you in for another taste. The finish is very pleasant and relaxing in taste. I am really proud to put this batch together for Jimmy, and I know my dad would have loved seeing a batch of his namesake bourbon dedicated to his great friend. That's awesome. This batch is made up of 3 production dates stored in 4 different warehouses. It started at 125.8 proof, and the age is 7 years, 9 months, and 19 days. The breakdown of the batch is as followed. 12% came from the 5th floor of the 7-story warehouse Z. 20% came from the 5th floor of 7-story warehouse 1. 46 came from the 3rd floor of 7-story warehouse 3. And 22% came from the 4th floor of 7-story warehouse Q. Fantastic. All right, let's get into this. Anybody who knows about Booker's, you got this wood box. All right, that's enough. I'm going to switch over. I should have. Let's stop sharing. All right, come on, come on, come on. Where is the stop sharing? Oh God, this should be easy. Oh, I don't know. Okay, is that it? Close window. Nope, nope, nope. Stop sharing. It always tells me where to stop sharing. Is it at the bottom? Oh, let's see. There it is. Stop share. All right. All right, everybody. It's good to be back. What did you all think? I mean, that's some good detail, right? Booker was demanding of Fred. Yes, there's no doubt about it, Walker. I agree. And then we've got, yes, tonight's doing a little bit better than the last couple on YouTube. So the great thing about Booker's is it comes in this awesome box. I could show you. And then it's got this glass window support and really kind of cool. My microphone's right there. So I'm sure you all heard that on the whatever. But it's got the little ribbon with the Booker's embossed B on there. Plus, each one comes with a sticker and the card, this awesome little card that you can collect from all the different Bookers. I keep mine right with it. You can see that it tells you all the details and facts, and that's kind of cool. I like the cards, but they're so little and it's so hard to read. So I just get the share screen on the internet. That was kind of cool. But the wax seal, they're wax dipped up until the ribbon. Very nice wax dipping. I mean, it's just crazy. Plus the handwritten note that initially Booker wrote and then Fred wrote. Now on the reserves, Freddie wrote the note. So it's really kind of cool as the history of the family goes. But I love the wax seal. We're popping this one. Oh, now I love the Master Distillers blend of Booker's, which is 3. So this one is going to be unique. And I am thinking of barrel bashing this one. I know the Master Distillers, but it's going to be interesting. Now, I just opened it. I'm going to get the air that was in because it has to settle. Now, this is settled a while, but then I'm going to up it to eliminate the neck pour. There it goes. There is no neck pour anymore. Pop that cork. They do now use, they used to use a real cork, but now they use a synthetic. I'm pretty sure of that. Wow. So here we go. Put that in there. Since it's new, I hadn't searched Breaking Bourbon because this is a pretty new batch, and usually it takes a while for them to get their batch out. Let's see. Let's put this right over there and move this a little bit further. How about that? All right. So in the glass, definitely a darker amber color, which is similar. I mean, Booker's is all uncut, unfiltered, just like the Scotchy Bourbon Boys and just like the barrels at Whiskey Thief, all uncut, unfiltered. It is the reason why Tiny got into this. The reason why I got into this, yep. The reason why I got into bourbon in the first place, before I even started podcasting, I was searching for Booker's Kitchen Table in 2018, and I had seen it on the shelf and didn't realize it was a batch thing. So I eventually, like 6 months later, was able to pick it up in Wisconsin. And it was like one of the best moments of my life, actually being able to find what I was looking for. Now, as Fred was saying, that sometimes Booker's was very frustrated. As Greg was saying, sometimes Booker was very frustrated with Fred and didn't think he was going to amount to much. And but after he passed, and just before, I mean, Fred stepped up to the plate, and I really believe that Booker would be I believe the same thing that Greg had said. Booker would be very proud of Fred today. So, but so we're gonna. Oh, the nose is it's a classic Booker nose. I'm getting a little bit of the nut, a little ethanol. I always get a little bit of a fresh bitten into apple. I get that from time to time. It's not a peanut this time. Believe it or not, I'm almost getting a potato chip. No. I've never gotten that before, but I'm smelling a potato chip. Now, we are going to do this quick segment of barrel bashing. I think everybody's going to be able to hear the barrel bash tonight, which is pretty freaking awesome. Yes, the color on this is awesome. Now I'm going to spin it for the body, but the barrel bashing rating system of the Scotchy Bourbon Boys is as followed. It is brought to you by the Old Louisville Whiskey Company there in Old Louisville, Kentucky. Amin down there, you got to book your tour. It is a fantastic tour, and he has fantastic whiskeys. It's just highly recommended, and you got to go see him at the Old Louisville Whiskey Company. All right, so our barrel bashing rating system is based off of 18 barrel bashes. You wonder how out of 4 you get 18. Nose and body are 2 of the categories that you can give up to a 4 for a total of 8. But you also, on the taste and the finish, you can give 5s because I feel taste and finish is a little bit more important than nose and body. Some people might disagree with that, but that's the way it is here at the Scotchy Bourbon Boys. Tiny gets to make the rating system. And then also, we 100%, if you think something's fantastic in one category, now sometimes I break that rule, but one category alone, you could give it a butt up. So the perfect bourbon score is a 4.455 with a butt up in one of the categories for a total of 19. Make sure you've all heard it, but I think you all can hear this. Let me know on Facebook and YouTube if you can hear it, but I think you can hear the barrel bashing tonight. So the original small batch, yes. So here we go, folks. I am going to start the barrel bashing. The nose. Oh, there it is. It's like a candied apple. There's the brown sugar. I'm getting some sort of baked good. Maybe it's a candy apple muffin. That could be it. A candy apple muffin. It's so good. It's sweeter. The nose on this is fantastic. All right. Maybe a baked apple. No, it's richer. It's more like it's not an apple pie. It's a baked cinnamon apple muffin. That is really good. Oh, this is going to be tough because it's fantastic. John Ritz caramel apple. There's no peanut. And there is so much. It's the most cinnamon I've ever had. That is fantastic. But what do you think, John? Are you getting the caramel on the flavor of the actual? I mean, the body on this is fantastic, like always. If you look at that, the legs are thick and run quick, long, thick legs. The body on this is fantastic. I think the body on this is could go but up. But the flavors, unfreaking believable. I'm trying to think what this would be. What kind of what kind of drink is that? A cinnamon hot toddy? You put that in a cinnamon hot toddy, and that is unfreaking, yeah, more on the nose, but the flavor is so cinnamony, and it's so, what would you say, apple? It's it almost has a holiday spice. If it wasn't $100 a bottle, you put this in wassail, and you're gonna like go crazy. Let's see how long that. It's so candy, apple, great vanilla. There's some, but it's sweet, man. It's so sweet with that fruity. I don't know what I did to deserve this. Maybe I'm just in such a great. That's a win. I will give you. There is like a cinnamon stick aspect. I will give you that. And I'm telling you, and there's also like a little bit like the burn, and it goes forever on the. This is going to be a tough one, because honestly, even in a blind, this one's going to stand out. There's no Bookers I've ever had like this. This will be the easiest one for me to tell. And Master Distiller is that classic caramel, fantastic apple. Drew says cinnamon apple strudel. I will even give you that. That flavor is so unique. It's exciting. I'm excited about this. I'm about to do this on the nose. I can't say that there's anything wrong with that nose at all. I give it the nose of 4. Tell me if you can hear the barrel bashing. Let's try it from under. 2, 3, 4. I'm hoping you all can hear it. I try to set it up. Everybody can hear it. All you got to do is just say one or the other. Yeah, there you go. Walker, I mean, you got to get this bottle. Unique as hell. There's no Bookers I've ever tasted like this. This is a definite, what would you say? It is a definite shout out to Jimmy Russell, because that's what bourbon can do, and they all love it so much. But Greg says he loved attending Booker's cookouts in his backyard. He would do his best Emerald Agassi impersonation, slinging Booker's bourbon on the grill, pork chops, and loudly saying "blam blam" as the bourbon made the flames reach high into the sky. So the last couple cookouts that I attended, either at the Bourbon Festival with them, Freddie did it the year that Fred had his surgery, and Freddie did a good job. But the year that I met Fred and Freddie in their backyard at the Jim Beam tasting event and dinner, they did that on the grill. And then also again this year, they were able to do that with the chef from the kitchen table before he started cooking this insane meal that he cooked. It was fantastic. But that is a tradition that happens still to this day with Freddie. It's amazing. So, yes. All right. So I gave the nose a 4. The one thing about this bourbon, Once again, God, what it did in the glass. I'm going to have to give this body a 4, but I'm going to also give it a butt up. So I'm going to give it a 5. Butt up. Now let's see for sure. No one's telling me whether they can hear the barrel bashing. John, can you hear the barrel bashing? More on the nose for me, John says. The caramel. Okay. I'm just going to tell you, drinking this one is dangerous because it drinks on a, I mean, this, you could serve this in a fall, anything. You could sip this in the fall at your campsite, at the fire on your back deck. You can serve this for Christmas. This is Christmassy. This is this is unique than ever, John. You cannot hear it. I could actually hear it on there, but you're not hearing it. All right. Oh, it's frustrating. Anyways, everybody, let's keep going. Let's see what we got next. Whiskey Uncensored, first ever Booker's with a bulge on it. Jimmy's Rules, yes, with a bulge. Anyways, I am going to go on the taste now. I already gave the butt up out for that. Let's see. Look at that. There's almost like a sour apple flavor on there just that time on my lips. This is spectacular. I have to decide, though, from a taste standpoint, but it's not hot apple. Okay, yes, if you served it at 68 degrees, it's so the heat. I wonder what would happen if you did it, but just now I got like a little of this, like a sour apple flavor in there on that last sip, and it's like I said, this is a unique. Wasn't coming through on Facebook. Yeah, I'm sure I'd probably have to hit the microphones on Facebook, but I'll try it again. But you guys know what I'm giving it. The first one was, I gave it a 4 for a nose. I gave that, the body is definitely, I mean, you were talking cheeks, tongue, under your tongue, roof of your mouth, back of your throat, down in you can taste it in your stomach. The Kentucky Chew works. This isn't so hot that you can't do the Kentucky Chew. Sometimes you got some Bookers that give you that thing where it's just like so hot that you start chewing and it's like, okay, you better get that. That's not working because everything freaks out so bad you stop tasting. This doesn't do this. This is just full the whole way. I have to give this taste. I have to decide if it goes to the 5. Because usually I need caramel. I really do. And I'm not getting a lot of caramel on the taste. I get brown sugar on the nose. Excuse me. Yes, I'm home alone tonight and have to stay up for a while. So I'm not going to, Roxy's at a birth, so I can't get in trouble at the moment. So I'll have a couple. Let's see what we got here. All right. Yeah. Anybody else out there? Joe Martin, looking for a good seasonal. I'm telling you, if you're looking for a good seasonal depression, Joe, I mean, get this Booker's. This will cheer you freaking up. This is like Christmas, fall, fire, relaxation, warmth. This Booker's is it. I will give you that 100% right there. Tonight, I raised a glass. We weren't live, but a dear friend of mine passed away on Sunday. It's been very hard for the family. It's somebody who seriously, in my opinion, was gone from this earth too soon. I knew her well, as far as I didn't know her, see her a lot, but to know her personality and what she did to help my family and our families and our situations were similar. My heart goes out to her children and her husband. It proves that life isn't fair, but I'm going to raise this part of the podcast to Max. It was, you were gone too quick. So rest in peace. It's very hard for me to do, but my sometimes life isn't fair. And this is one time it wasn't fair to a lot of people. So uh it can be hard, and that's what I mean. A lot of times I feel that bourbon can celebrate and help people get through hard times, as long as, and also help them celebrate good times. But her life should be celebrated because she was a great person that cared about people. All right, enough on that. Otherwise, I'll start tearing up and this will go south quick. All right, let's go. One more time. So we are on the taste, and you know what, Fred, you dedicated this to Jimmy. I think a lot of people should taste this. This will be on the podcast. That is big flavor. It is something that cinnamon, that that apple fruit aspect. Like I said, I want the caramel, but I'm not, but to get that 5 level, but you've done it in a different way, and it is uniquely done, well done. So I'm going to give the taste a 5 on the barrel bash. I would barrel bash the barrel, which is William Dalton barrel that uh, was held the bourbon of the year from 2 years ago. But when I barrel bash it, it knocks the hoops off eventually. And I'm just going to use the wood of this fantastic bar top made for the Scotchy Bourbon Boys. As far as the finish, so right now we could go. It's fantastic when what's left in your mouth, what you're going to go upstairs with, when there's some. It's just like the finish is always important to me because it's the last thing you taste of the whiskey. Let's just say you stop drinking, it's the taste left in your mouth. So, just like if you use a mouthwash or you use mint or whatever, I think bourbon, that's very important. And that apple fritter, I mean, on the taste palette, the sweetness is insane. I would say that it's so sweet that apple cider, when I drink apple cider, it's on the same level of an apple cider as far as sweetness. And the sweetness never, ever isn't the front part of what you're tasting. I mean, to transfer this sweetness even to the back palate is something special. And it's still, I think it's the finish works in your memory too. It stays. So a lot of times when people are critiquing whiskeys, you get a hint of something. This bourbon doesn't hint shit. Let's see. Greg's like, love Fred's passion and love for Jimmy. It truly epitomizes the brotherhood that exists in the old, longtime Kentucky distilleries and our close relationships. Yes. And honestly, Greg, I would like to, you know, hang out with you and Jimmy. That would be a lot of fun to do, to one day all three of us get together and talk about that, because and I know Jimmy would love to do that. There's no doubt. I mean, you should use your magic and make that happen, because I would come down and it would be great to do a podcast with you and Jimmy. Even if we could include Fred, it would be something that would be very special, because you guys, Greg, although you learn from all those people, you say that Jimmy's one, whatever, you're a treasure in yourself. You understand and have the same passion that Jimmy and Booker have. You understand it all. And it's next generation shit, but you're still young. Greg, and you're going to be on Tuesday, and we're going to talk about this stuff. I mean, thank you for coming on tonight and commenting. I really appreciate it. Hey, Randy, it's so good to see you. This has been a fantastic podcast, actually. Walker basically took on. Let's see. Sorry, thank you, Joe, for mentioning that. Tonight, I'm hurting a little bit. I was whatever. I've been hurting for a little bit once I had found out, but also, you know, it's kind of this is the world that we've always lived in. People pass on, and we have to acknowledge their ability to touch our souls on this planet, and hopefully, when we all get off this planet, that we can reunite with the people who touch us the most. And this is why I love bourbon, is because I've met so many people, so many good friends. Just spent the weekend with a friend that I feel like I've known forever. We grew up in the same era, and our paths crossed without knowing it many times. And we finally were able to. Randy, I appreciate everything that you've done. This is Randy Prass, the president of the Kentucky Bourbon Festival, but we're both from Wisconsin, grew up at the same time. Packer fans. He's a Cubs fan. I'm a Cubs fan, but Brewers first. He's a Cubs fan, but Cubs first. We actually got to go to the game, a Cincinnati game this year, and it was fantastic. And we just finished up at the Green Bay Packers this weekend. I can't imagine a better Packer weekend than what we had. Both our spouses were with us. Double O Kate, there's a cheers to you. I have a love for the people. It just, my personality is and has always been, since I've ever known who I was, and I knew who I was for a long time, even in grade school. I am very affectionate and love people and love everything, to do stuff like that. It took me a long time to find my place. I'm artistic. I was a commercial artist. I was a fine artist. But when I started doing this bourbon podcast and finding the friends and all the people, it's just amazing. I think actually it's 9:30, and that might have been my wife, or it was a fox on the side of the house. But hopefully it's my wife coming home from a birth. But I'm going to tell you 100% that bourbon is the glue that brings friends. I mean, just being at Lambeau Field and we parked at this man's house. Oh, I want to. It's just like his name is eluding me. Ralph It would be good. Walker, you can't even help me with this because Randy's the only one. But we basically will be parking there for the rest of our lives. He had a bourbon collection. Um, when we parked there, uh, as you went through his garage, he had two garage doors, one on the front, one on the back. You parked in the back, you came in. Um, the reason why we're there is because our wives wanted a bathroom, and we ended up staying way longer both times on the front end and the back end. Shared a pour. I have a tradition that if the Packers win when I go to a game, I basically drink Stag, and I was able to drink it again and leave him the bottle, and he was. They don't get Stag in Wisconsin, and when I left the rest of the bottle, he was like so happy. It's just something that if you share, you get to share friendship with everybody, and that's what Booker's is. You know, Yeah, I'm right there, Greg. I am right there for Amore because we got to get him to cook. We got to get him to cook something. If I'm coming and you let him know, I don't. So Greg refers to Amore, which is Al Popsadero. He is a corporate chef that has his own restaurant in Floyd's Knob, which is 5 minutes from Greg Schneider's house. And we're going to be finishing up the podcast part of this, but I'll finish the story. I've had some of the best meals I've ever had in my life there. I mean, Greg pheasant hunts, and then he could bring Al a pheasant, and Greg Al will prepare this pheasant in so many different ways, and it's just one of the greatest restaurants. Anybody who could get to Amore, you want to get there because, and then tell them the Scotchy Bourbon Boys sent you. We we will bring we will bring Al a bottle of a bourbon. We bring a bottle for him to cook with, and we bring a bottle for him to have. And Al appreciates it. But what he has prepared for us has been just insane. Me and Walker were there. I've been there with Greg so many times, but the food there is something on a divine level. So, yes, I agree with you, Greg. I'm going to be at Amore on December 13th. That's for sure. All right. So, everybody, the finish. There's that apples there, but that one pulled in some of those awesome oaky. Now we're looking at it, the finish. I was going to go 4, and then I drank it again. And the oak is just, it's like applewood oak. That's not a thing, but there's a little bit of apple and a little bit of oak. It's not leather and it's not chocolate. So it tells me that's the barrel aspect of this. Fred has done a fantastic job. And this time, yes, Walker, I will invite you that night for sure. All right. So it gets I was gonna give the finish a 4, but now after talking and tasting it and it lasting, it's still going. It's like, what is going on out there? But I'm gonna give it a 5. And that is a 19 of 18, folks. Fred has really done a good job with this. Fantastic. Super job. So 19 of 18. Wow. Just heard a voice and nobody's here. I love that part of this house. And there is a person at the front door. I'm not even going to check that. But anyways, everybody on Facebook and on YouTube. Hold on, because I'm going to finish up this podcast. And then once I finish up this podcast, I will hang out with you guys because we've had a great night on YouTube and we've had a great night on Facebook. It's just like, maybe my wife's home, maybe she's not. I don't know, but it's just been going crazy outside. But they're not coming in here. Nope. Hey, darling. Rachel? Are you there? Okay. I'm just still podcasting. You were freaking me out with all the rings. All right. So that was my wife. So no problem. All right. So here we go. And that's just awesome that she's home. It's just like another win. She'll be home tomorrow to help make Thanksgiving dinner. It's just like everything's just been so good. Hey, Super Nash, good to see you here. And then I'm going to finish up this, but stay on Facebook and YouTube a little bit. So everybody, remember, www.scotchybourbonboys.com for all things Scotchy Bourbon Boys, Glencairns, t-shirts, and bourbon balls really quick. And then also remember, we're on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and X. Check us out on all those formats. You can find all the links and everything, but we go live on Facebook and YouTube every Tuesday night and Thursday night at 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. Join us and you can comment and be a part of the podcast. But also this Thursday, we are going live 10:30 a.m. for our third annual Wild Turkey podcast. And we will be tasting the Jimmy Russell 70th anniversary Wild Turkey bottle and release. But I will throw in also the Jimmy's batch. We're going to be talking about that. So join us for probably a quick morning podcast so that I can start watching football. But that's what I've been doing. And we'll go from there. So remember, good bourbon equals good times and good friends. Drink responsibly. Don't drink and drive. And make sure you live your life uncut and unfiltered. Little is going to take us out.
Oh, show me the way to the next whiskey bar. Oh, don't ask why. Oh, don't ask why. Show me the way to the next whiskey bar. Oh, don't ask why. Oh, don't ask why. For if we don't find the next whiskey bar, I tell you we must die. I tell you we must die. I tell you, I tell you, I tell you we must die.
All right, CJ, you just got home with it. I want to know what you taste because this is like an apple pie, fritter, muffin bomb. So you need to open that and let us know what it tastes like. Okay, CJ? I'm going to do my magic. I just have to improve quality. And nope, manage crosstalk. Nope, improve clarity. And then I have to save this file. Oh, I'm in Bowman's. So if I'm right, Randy, Bowman's is 1792 and Sazerac, correct? If you're in Virginia, are you getting to Mount Huron? Because getting to General Washington's distillery with Steve Bashore is my fantasy. I mean, that distillery and what they're doing there with Rise and whatever is insane. They're using the stills. They're using the actually have the grist mill grinder from when George Washington was grinding his corn. Yeah, you're getting there. So, Randy, can you pick me up one of the ryes that they're releasing? I will pay for it. And the next time, please, if you're getting to Monier, I want to get there. I have to get there. Steve has invited me. Oh my God. You know, Alan's been there a million times, and I really, really have. That's like between Stolen Wolf and that. Oh, where do you live, Randy? Oh, you know what? Randy's talking to me straight up. That's funny. Yes, Eric Wolf invited me. Steve invited me. So Gainesville. So Gainesville is Florida. How far is that from Boynton Beach? Just hours, because you can live on the Gulf side and it's still just 5 hours away. Bloating. Jimmy's batch. All right, saving that. Yeah, CJ, just want to make sure you just got home with that. You can turn this one off. All right, that worked out good. Turn this, pick this. That's not working. Everything worked out perfect today. Today was a win. Don't know Boynton Beach. Okay, it's about half hour south of West Palm. That's where my mom and dad live. And I would love to stop by when I go to Florida. That is insane. This Booker's is insane. CJ has not jumped back in yet. 5 hours. Thank you, Walker. I have to bring that up for Walker. Steve and Eric invited me too, but as luck would have it, I couldn't make it. It looked like they've had a lot of fun distilling in Mount. Yeah, okay, Nash, but let's go together. We could go together and do a podcast with Steve. He's there all the time. This Booker's is very unique. I can't wait for Roxy to taste it. She's upstairs, and I'm excited to. I'm on I-75. You're on I-75, so I take I-75 straight down to Boynton. So, which Bucky's, the first or the second? Infinite, thus between Infinite, thus Jimmy's batch. It's been 2 weeks of deliciousness. I will tell you, but I will also tell you that you throw in batch, and this is going to be a tough one because I will recognize both. One's so freaking good. And then you throw in this one, which is like candy apple. I mean, there's so many different ways to describe it. So many. I appreciate everybody. It's the larceny caramel. Roxy's saying how good this larceny. I'm telling you, if you get to Heaven Hill, as far as a bourbon candle, I will do a promotion. It's called Bourbon Spiced Toddy, and it smells so good. And I just burned some of it, and she can smell it upstairs. And seriously, I think sometimes it can affect what the bourbon tastes like. That's for sure.
No, the whole upstairs smells like that candle.
You can pick one up, Randy, tonight. As far as you're there in Virginia, you're going to pick one up. Wait. Thank you, Randy. I would greatly appreciate if you pick me up one from there. I would love to podcast with that before I get there, because getting to Virginia is extending outside of the ring, but the ring is going to be extended outside of soon. I was at Liberty Pole. I've been at Stolen Wolf, and I got to get to Mount Vernon. There's no doubt. It's history. It's the birthplace of whiskey in this country. I mean, I understand there's lots of other. So, larceny C9. Oh, you're like barrel proofing the larcenies this year. I have too much barrel proof larceny, Walker. I wish it was good. A122. I actually got a larceny straight from Bourbon Your Own Way, and that is so amazing. It wrecked larceny for me forever. All right. So everybody's off the Elijah Craig and on to larceny. And while everybody was on Elijah Craig, I was on larceny. So there you go. This is one you got to get, Matt. You got to get Jimmy's batch. It's released in Ohio. You need to pick it up. Definitely need to pick it up. Let's see. Holy crap. So on YouTube, we have Almaty, Kazakhstan. So Kazakhstan. I mean, welcome. Seriously. I wish that you could be drinking the American bourbon that we drink, but check us out from time to time, because we talk about it all the time. Let us know what you drink, because I want to know what you're drinking in Kazakhstan. That's for sure, because I have no idea what's happening in Kazakhstan when it comes to whiskey. Yeah, I picked it up there too. I'm telling you, Matt, most popular podcasts we have are bookers, and always have been. Our bookers of the year. And you know what? My bookers are getting out of control. But we're going to throw the reserves in this year. So there's actually 5 batches of bookers that we're going to put up for bookers of the year on that Thursday that Super Nash comes in, and I'm super excited. I'm super excited for the rest of 2024 and what's going to happen in 2025. It's just win after win. That's what this has been about. Ever since November 5th, I feel like the United States has won. I feel like ever since then, the Green Bay Packers have been winning. I feel like that in my life that we've been winning. I appreciate everybody who's out there. Oh, Spanky. good to see you. Happy Turkey Day. Join us at 10:30 a.m. on Turkey Day because I am going to be reviewing this wild turkey, Jimmy Russell's 70th anniversary, and Randy, that honestly, Randy just said he got a millennium. Now I know two people who got millenniums. Are you sharing? I need to know, Randy, if I come to your house in Florida, I will come down and definitely drive the 5 extra hours to be at your house back and forth if you're sharing Weller Millennium. I think Larceny started off great this year and only got better to B and C batches. I mean, that weeded, but I'm going to tell you when it comes to a weeded, you guys all got to get to Whiskey Thief because this weeded, and I'm going to say that Spanky, you need to get to my house because this weeded is a cherry freaking bomb. It's very good. You guys hanging out with you guys. I got a couple more minutes. We got 9 minutes. I'm going to get off of here at 10 o'clock. I can't wait to pick up Bookers of the year, pick the Bookers of the year. It's going to be tough to pick from the best. I mean, seriously, Nash, this is so uniquely different. Although I gave it a 19, the Master Distiller's batch. I don't know which one's going to do it. I mean, it's just so different than any Bookers that I've ever had. What, John? I hope you only paid half for it, Randy. You like, Walker, you're saying you like the O2 better, which would have been the house, the family. Yes, I get that. But I understand if you picked up a millennium, most people in this world aren't, especially people who collect bourbon on just a regular level. If you got a millennium, you got to decide if you're going to take it to the next level or you're going to drink it. But I will say this, Randy, if you decide that whiskey is made for drinking, I will tell you this. If you share the millennium, I will share the Booker's Rye that I have when I open it also. So there you go. 2 unicorns that not a lot of people have on this planet. Well, that's good. He paid 2/3. 2/3 is better than full price. So why is it going for 2/3 is the question. This is one I wanted to know. All the people on YouTube. I know I'm not looking, but I'm paying attention to comments. I pay attention, and they're over here and they're over there. So at this point, all right, I'm going to end it on YouTube before I end it, but I'm going to see. I think we had a good night on YouTube from what I could see, a little bit better than what we've been having, and I'm excited. So check us out. Make sure you're there 10:30 Eastern Time AM for our Turkey Day podcast. Here we go. Thanks, everybody on YouTube.